Hey everyone, I have some really exciting news for you. If you're a fan of watching live MMA and boxing, I have the perfect event for you taking place this July. Cage Wars and Stickermule presents Mike Tyson's Fight Night, a special two-night combat sports event hosted by the most dangerous man on the planet, the youngest and most electrifying heavyweight champion in boxing history, the legendary Iron Mike Tyson. Cage Wars is the #1 growing amateur MMA promotion in the country and has produced some of the best amateur talent that has graduated to some incredible professional promotions such as CFFC, Bellator, and of course the UFC. Cage Wars has had some of the most exciting bouts, whether it be highlight reel knockouts,
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
bone snapping submissions,
Guy, bloody! Oh goodness! Oh!
or all-out wars that keep the whole crowd on their feet.
Nice uppercut, nice right
Right
hand.
center goes.
Northern McCullough.
Backing
Might
up,
be in
not
trouble.
defending.
Dan's there. That's it.
And Dan
Mike Tyson's Fight Night will also debut Cage Wars' first event in professional boxing, which will showcase all the upcoming talent in the country. The boxing event will take place on Friday, July 22nd, and the MMA event will take place on Saturday, July 23rd, and both events will be held at the Empire State Convention Center in Albany, New York. Tickets for Mike Tyson's Fight Night are currently on sale now at CageWarsMMA.com. But if the show sells out, no worries, Cage Wars has you covered. The event will be available by pay-per-view via the Stimulus streaming service, so you can watch the action in the comfort of your home. But this is a show you want to be a part of in person, so get tickets while they last. You can also check out CageWarsMMA.com for your local MMA news, fight announcements, past events, and check out their social media pages and become part of the Cage Wars family. This is guaranteed fireworks, folks. Watch your upcoming talent now before you have to buy an expensive ticket to the big shows, but shows don't get much bigger than this. Plus, I'll be defending my Cage Wars Heavyweight Championship on the show, so if you'd love to show your support, go to CageWars.com today and learn more now. With all that said, folks, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the episode. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Combat Corporation, your source for combat sports. I'm your host, Al the Postmaster Morrow, and today I have a gear review of the Isami MMA pounding gloves. Alright folks, as always, I'm incredibly excited to bring you yet another gear review, and today I'm double excited because it's the second pair of MMA gloves I've ever reviewed. Today we have the Isami MMA pounding gloves. A lot of people have been requesting, Al, can you please do more MMA glove reviews? It'd be really helpful. I see the comments, guys. I just wish I did it more. I need to commit more to MMA gloves. I promise I will. I got a few recordings here or there that I'm going to put some more MMA gloves out in the near future, especially some of the big ones that most people request me to make a video on. I also get requests for shin guards a lot. The only thing is, I just don't buy shin guards like I do MMA gloves and boxing gloves. I don't know why, but basically the things that I don't collect a whole lot of are headgear and shin guards, like protective wear. And the reason why is because I don't really mess around with the protective gear. If it works for me, it works for me. And so that's just kind of how it goes. But because it's requested all the time, I'm going to start getting some headgear and maybe some shin guards, a body protector every now and again. Everything but a groin guard is basically what I'm gonna get for you guys as much as I can. And maybe if I can't use them, I'll just donate them to the local boxing club or the local MMA gym or something like that. Or maybe I'll do giveaways. Who knows? But that's besides the point. We're focusing on the MMA pounding gloves by Isami, and these gloves are super unique, and I'm really excited to do a review on these because I've never seen any pair of MMA gloves quite like this. At least I haven't. I don't think any other pair of MMA gloves have done this concept that I've seen anyway in my time in training the sport in a little over 10 years now. So basically, the really unique thing about these, not only are they a very high quality Japanese style glove, you have a sidebar for hammer fist, which is something I've never seen an MMA glove do. It's your basic MMA sparring glove. You know, it's basically that small boxing glove with the open fingers and palm, and then you have the little sidebar here, and that's really cool. And I've never seen anything. So when I saw that, I had to get them. You know, I've had them for about 3.5 months, which is plenty of time for these gloves. They came in virtually broken in right off the bat. I've used these really exclusively for my upcoming title defense and for my last fight as well. I got these about, I want to say, a week before my last fight, and so these were really helpful. And I advocate for a lot of people to get stuff like this, especially for hard MMA sparring, because on the website, on Isami's website, it even says you can use 70-80% power, and I tell you what, they're soft enough for you to do that. But we're going to go into that when it comes to the build of the glove. First thing I want to do is tell you the exact model I have, and then we're going to go into the history of Isami, because I got to tell you everything, because I'm the nerd, I know. But basically, it's one size fits all, and it even says, it has a little tag here, it says F right there. If you can see the little white tag with the little F, it's kind of faded out, but it's one size fits all, and it does fit my hand exceptionally well, which is good. So hopefully for smaller people, it's not too, you know, big for your hand, but it fits my hand just fine. And then I got them in the blue and yellow colors because of the stuff going on in Ukraine, and so I wanted to show my support in some way, although I don't think any type of relation is here. I think they've always had this color for some reason, but I got it more for the Ukraine crisis going on. And then on top of it, it's also my high school colors too, but and on top of it, you have two other colors you can get. You can get black and red and black, and basically the way it works is the primary color replaces the blue here, and the secondary color replaces the yellow here. I'm sure I'll put pictures so you can see that. And then Isami, as you can see, we got the logo here telling you what it is, and then we also got the logo right there. We'll go into that more detail. But Isami's been around for a long time. I don't know exactly when Isami started, but I'd like to say maybe around the same time as Winning, if not a little bit after the fact, because a lot of people in the MMA world basically dub Isami as like the Winning of MMA or wrestling too, because they've been around for wrestlers in Japan primarily for a very long time. You see guys like Sakuraba. He uses their knee guards and, or their knee pads when he fought and wrestled and stuff. He also used their gloves because they made gloves for Pride for, I think, a little bit until I'm pretty sure Winning produced most of Pride's gloves. Isami also makes the gloves for Ryzen. They make them for Shuto, for Sengoku, and a bunch of other promotions out there. I want to say Pancrase too. At least I know that Isami shin guards were used in the old Pancrase days. Of course, Pancrase is, you know, a modern MMA promotion now, but back in the day, you know, with Boss Root and with the open hand strikes, Isami, I'm pretty sure, made the shin guards for Shuto, Rings, and UWFI, and a lot of professional wrestlers today still use Isami style shin guards, like CM Punk uses Isami. Josh Barnett, actually, when he does pro wrestling, uses them. I'd like to say, I'm pretty sure AJ Styles uses customized Isami kick pads too. They also make stuff for K1 back in the day, and a lot of fighters that you've seen use gloves like these. Like I said, at AKA, Cain Velasquez used these, so did Luke Rockhold, Daniel Cormier, Khabib Nurmagomedov. A lot of people use these gloves, these MMA style pounding gloves in particular as well. So they're definitely a popular pair, and they're definitely a professional's choice. So Isami's been around for a long time, and they're still active today. And I don't have a pair of their boxing gloves, but if you want to see a review, I always try and get these guys in as much as I can because I respect the hell out of them. C Squared did a review on an Isami pair of gloves and basically said that they were just about on par with Winning, if not just a little step below. So you can definitely tell what type of quality you get, especially for the price that you pay for gloves like these. But first, let's go into the look of the glove. As you can see, we have a big blue punch surface here, all the way from the wrist cuff right up to here, except for that little yellow piping right here. And it says that big Isami logo, which is faded a little bit in some areas, and that's in white. The punch guard, as you can see, or the hammer fist guard right here is blue, but as you can see, some of the paint has faded off a little bit. And then we also have some yellow piping right by the finger guards. We got the yellow thumb here and then yellow piping around the wrist strap, and the wrist strap itself is blue. Velcro is black, as usually it would be, and then once we open the glove, everything else on the inside is black, especially this, not especially, but including, rather, this Velcro strap, or this elastic strap, and then we got the black little leatherette, I'd call them, finger guards here, and they're all individual, which is really cool. Speaking about the build of the glove, we got the whole outer shell is made out of a nice buffalo hide leather. It's a very high quality leather, and it feels nice, and it still has that nice brand new leather shoe smell. It smells like a brand new leather coat, I'd say. If you ever walk into like Wilson's Leather and go up to like the real leather coats, that's exactly how it smells. And you got that for the whole thing of the glove, including the finger guards, which have that nice, I call them leatherette because of how thin it feels. But it's that same buffalo leather here for the finger guards. They're all individualized, and the inside is that same leather as well. So you get really high quality, good cushioned leather all throughout the glove. And then when we talk about the padding itself, Isami calls it a sponge, and that's what a lot of people in Japan basically say. It's sponge foam, and really what it is, it's the softest high density foams you can get. It's so soft it really feels like memory foam. And the other thing about that is when I crease this in, all the air leaves it and you can hear it, and what makes the high density foam is it just starts to rebreathe. But see how creased and like mushed it gets? That's how soft this is. It's literally like a feather pillow. It's really crazy. It's a memory foam feather pillow, but it molds out pretty easy just like that. The sidebar is made out of the same exact material. As you can see, I can crease that too, and it smushes in and then it will rebreathe. That's the open cell, so the cells can open up and breathe, so they form and they move around. And the thumb also has a little bit of that padding towards the top. Not too much, but it's padded enough to where you can definitely feel, you can see it crease in a little bit. You can definitely feel it protect your thumb quite a bit. The inside, once again, is nice leather, and you can actually see some of the leather that wasn't quite dyed on the inside of that little seam right there. But it's a very nice glove. The one thing about the build of the glove that shocked me is in the YouTube video that Choke Sports, which is the USA retailer for Isami, that's where you get it from, is that it looked huge in their YouTube video on it, but I tell you what, compared to a lot of other MMA sparring gloves, maybe the camera doesn't do it justice. It's actually a really small profile glove. I was shocked by that, but it fits my hand perfect, so I don't know what they did to do that, but it was really surprising when I got these. I'm like, man, they're really small. You got this nice elastic strap here, which allows it to fasten well to your wrist. And as you can see, it's nice and tight to my wrist, and each individual finger gets its own finger compartment, and they're all kind of binded together towards the bottom here. So your fingers never slip out. At least I haven't had them slip out. I think my thumb has slipped out once, and that's because I didn't strap it tight enough. But everything has its own individual little grip here, which is nice. It keeps your fingers in, because sometimes with MMA gloves, your fingers might slip out, especially when you had like Pride gloves back in the day. You used to see fighters, their fingers would slip out all the time. But, like the Ryzen glove nowadays, they're all binded just like this. So Isami does a really good job to prevent that from happening. You can pull it down a little bit farther on your hand as well, and it's really easy and flexible to open. I think my one complaint is that the Velcro isn't necessarily weak, but it does flap off at the base here after a little bit. And it's a sparring glove, so you can always tape it, but it's not that big of a deal. But look how it lines up. You got that perfect slot here, so you can really hammer down with those hammer fists. And that's the nice thing about it, is that it really does cover your palm nice and well. And say you do partner drills, it's great because you basically got a small mitt here to catch your opponent's fist. Maybe they got those cheap Everlast bag mitts or something that they're using for MMA gloves, right? Beginners do that sometimes, but that's the cool thing here. The other thing is how flexible the grip is for such a big puffy MMA glove. It moves super well. You can see the back of this move nice and well. The wrist support is actually not bad. It doesn't crease my wrist at all that much. It really kind of snaps me back, which is nice. There's a little bit of padding in the wrist right here, not a ton compared to up here, but how soft that is, there's no way that you're gonna get anything through to your knuckles at all. I can't feel it. There's like that multi-layered sponge foam that you got going on here, And it's very, very soft, super soft. Then at the bottom, you can still feel there's like the molding foam a little bit, but there's like no room for, even on the side here, you can't feel your knuckles at all. So it's really, really protective. So if you have problems with like hand issues, I definitely look into these, especially with how soft these are. It literally feels like if I give myself a good whack like that, like I actually just punched myself, it felt like someone just took a pillow pretty hard and batted me upside the head with it. It doesn't really do much. Like here, it's obviously not as much padding, so it's gonna you know, hurt if you get. And I'm not saying it's not gonna rock you, but when they say you can really spar at a pretty good rate with these, they're not kidding because of how soft this padding is. Once again, say if you're more of a grappler, if I put both of these on, I'll show you some of the grips that you can get. If I put this one on here and pull it down. That's the really cool thing about it. And that and the wrist strap and how good it actually straps and supports is amazing. But you can get just about any grip you can think of. One of my favorite grips is something that Neil Melanson, actually I saw, is like this weird modified grip. You can get your fingers in really easy. You know, this obviously is a little bit more difficult, but you can still actually lock it up pretty tight for your you know, for this grip. And then you got your S grip or 8-finger grip. You can really get that really nice. You can get a nice butterfly grip. I call it the bar grip. Gable grip is really nice. That's really cool. But you know, your finger grip though, you know, your finger lock grip, I've heard someone call it a basket grip, but I really don't know the name of this grip. But basically when you're here, it works really well. If you like, you know, I call it the give me the money grip. When you're grabbing in here, it's really easy because you can grab onto this glove really nice. Your thumbs are super easy. You can grab wrist control really well. You know, you can hand fight really easy no matter what it is. And it's actually not too bad to sneak underneath like armpits and to get like underhooks and stuff like that, because like I said, maybe here it doesn't really do it justice as to how small these gloves actually come off compared to some other ones. But once again, you have this bar here. So overall, I mean, it's a really impressive glove as far as it goes. One thing I would say is that the padding is super soft. I don't really hit the bags with these too much. I mean, I do every now and again, you know, for warming up on the bags for a few rounds. It's definitely not going to kill it. The padding's not going to like break apart or anything. But you can definitely see that the foam just, it smushes right in no matter what you do with it. If I just do that, I mean, look at it just crease. So imagine hitting a bag, how flat it's going to get. But it's still not a bad MMA glove to hit the bags with, but I would probably use these exclusively for sparring. But let's go into the bag view, speaking of, and of course a model sparring view so you can see what these gloves are like in action. All right? So these gloves are really comfortable to hit the bag with, but as you can see, I'm even going to crease the glove in a bit so you can see kind of what happens when you punch the bag. It really creases that soft foam that's in there. It's like creasing a memory foam pillow. And although they feel nice in the bag, it feels like you have a winning style MMA glove because of how much padding there is. And it has a decent, you know, it definitely takes some weight off your shoulders and it's nice. They're nice and light. You know, maybe you could use them for like mat work when mat bag work on a dummy, you know, so you got the hammer fist. They feel good on the bag. I just wouldn't use them on the bag, but nothing saying you can't. They're definitely comfortable enough to hit the bag with. So as you can see, we got the sidebar here, which is a really unique thing. You can get nice grips like an S grip I got going on, gable grip, and then you got your, you know, I call it the plum grip. You got your rear naked choke grips, works really well. So it's got decent grips, definitely for that. It's a little bit difficult to do it when you got that plum grip, but then you got the, you know, just the look of the glove is really interesting. I like the colors, how they pop out. It's definitely not a usual color that you see in MMA gloves. The Isami logo comes out. You know, they look nice, big, and bulky, and I think everyone's really going to be shocked by that sidebar. They're a really cool looking glove, actually. All right, folks, so my final verdict when it comes to the Isami MMA pounding gloves is I really, really like these gloves a lot. I love these gloves, actually. I've had them for about 3 months, and they definitely have withstood the time test. They're still in as good a shape, just about, except for a few cosmetic things, as when I bought them. So that's awesome. When they come in, they are super, super broken in to begin with, and that's something that a lot of MMA gloves kind of fall apart with, especially leather MMA gloves. They're so small and compact that sometimes the leather binds, and you got to fix that, and you got to really work it in. That's why a lot of MMA gloves use the composite or vinyl or something like that. But with these gloves, they came in, they were super soft and supple, ready to go. And that's the one thing that I love about these. And I wouldn't expect anything from Isami, especially for being such a high-profile pair of MMA gloves in a high-profile company like Isami. And I see why a lot of people use Isami gloves, especially when it comes to a professional MMA setting. And when it comes to these gloves, I think these are probably the best, and I'd say the best option for a professional MMA fighter when it comes to heavy MMA sparring, because not only do you get that nice hammer fist bar, but because of how soft they are, it really allows you to spar at a pretty good pace, which I have for my last fight and for this upcoming fight. I have sparred in these gloves, and they help a lot. And the best part is you don't sacrifice grip at all. I mean, you can see me open my left hand, fine, wiggle my fingers like this as much as I can, and I can just about do that same motion here when I strap this tight. Look how easy it goes, and look how easy my fingers wiggle. So you got a nice, good grip because of those individual finger guards, which are nice, and they're binded at the back so your fingers don't slip out. It's really hard, actually. I'm trying to get my fingers out as best as I can, and you can't really do it. The thumb maybe could come out if I tried. See there? But I mean, that's if I'm really trying to get it out, and I had to try to get it back in too. But look how easy it is to get your grips. It's really nice to do that for an MMA sparring glove, especially even with this area of your palm taken up by the sidebar. The one thing, like I said, that I don't like about it is that the Velcro is not necessarily weak, but at the tip it flaps off sometimes. I haven't had to really tape them. If you just have, if you avoid, grinding it like this, it's obviously, I'm pulling on the ground. It's not going to lift it up. So you really need something to do that with it to take it off. Other than that, the rest of the Velcro is nice and strong. The other thing about it that I guess I could complain about, but I mean, it's probably just because of the paint that they're using. I'm sure the black and red doesn't fade as much, although I don't know, is that the logo is fading a little bit, and I don't like that. But I mean, if you're using MMA and, all you're doing is grinding up against someone and, getting underneath, getting underhooks, overhooks, pummeling on the mat and stuff like that, it's going to happen. Stuff is going to happen. I mean, the embroidery is holding up just fine. That, and on this glove, as you can see, this is all nice dark rich blue. Well, not dark, it's a richer light blue. And then on the side you can see that it is fading a bit right here, which is okay. I'm not mad about it because it doesn't sacrifice the actual quality of the glove, which is very high. The leather hasn't chipped or looked any different. It hasn't creased. It's just about as soft as it was when it came out of the box. So it's that padding and how soft the leather is. I mean, you got a good chunk of leather on the glove too that you can pull and pull off like that, and it smells great. I love that leather smell, everything about it. The thumb is in a good spot, puts you in a nice punch position. It doesn't hike up on your knuckles too much, and I love the interior, how that's leather. Even if it is the leather, it definitely feels the same, but even if it was like a synthetic leather on the inside, it's super easy to clean. It dries out so fast, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, I even accidentally left these in my gym bag one night, and they were dry when I took them out. That's how crazy it is. So I love that interior feel. I love when people do the leather or the synthetic leather. It feels really nice on your hand. It's nice and comfortable, and there's tons of room to put your hand wraps on within this glove too, and they don't bunch up or bind, which is another thing. I mean, you can put a good fight wrap in these things, which is great, especially for an MMA glove. So I absolutely love these gloves for the quality and for what they do and how they perform. The one thing that might be a drawback why I call them a really nice professional pair of gloves is because the price is about $170. And you got to order them from chokesports.com. You can get them from Isami's website, but Chokesports is where I got them. That's where you can see everything that Isami makes. They are the U.S. retailer for Isami, and they have anything from their gloves, their boxing gloves, MMA gloves, karate equipment, wrestling equipment, shin guards, name it. They have it on there, and they have a lot of really cool stuff, even belts for jiu-jitsu and judo and stuff like that. And from what I've read, I don't really use the belt system, but apparently their belts are the best belts on the market, which, good for them. And they have a good selection of professional level stuff, even fight gloves. I actually have a pair of the Shuto fight gloves that are up there buried somewhere, but I should have taken those out. But they are $170. They make everything to order, so I mean it takes about a week to 2 for them to make it, then another week or 2 for it to come from Japan to the US. So I ordered these a little while ago, about 3.5 months ago, and I was shocked how fast they came in. It took them 3 weeks to come in, but it tells you it takes usually about 2 weeks for them to make, and then another 2 weeks for them to get to you in the US. But it took them a total of 3 weeks for them to be here right at my doorstep. So they were fitted really, really well. I was really excited about it. Once again, that price, you know, $170 plus all the shipping and stuff might bring you up to like $190, $200. But if you're a professional guy or a high-level amateur that's going for the professional, I see these gloves lasting you a very long time, upwards of years. I'd say 3 years, 3 or 4 years of intense use. I think they're still going to be good even past that, probably, if you take good care of them like I do. And overall, I mean, that's great. I'd give them a rating of 10 out of 10 for an MMA sparring glove. No, you can't really hit the bags with them as much. I wouldn't anyway, because of how smushed it gets the padding, and I don't want these to look like, you know, a flattened pancake at the end of it. So I think for what they're modified for and what they're designed for, they're perfect. 10 out of 10 for a professional MMA glove. For everybody out there, I'd probably give it a good 7 out of 10 because you got a very high level glove. But for like someone who's starting out, they're not going to drop $170, $190, $200 for a pair of MMA gloves. They're simply going to, you know, buy something maybe at most in the $40 to $50, $60 range when you're starting out. So definitely for a beginner, I mean, if you want to just buy a pair, if you know that's something you want to do, go ahead and get them. But if you're using a pair of MMA gloves not only to spar with, but to hit the bags with as well, I wouldn't hit the bags with these too awful much because I think that would damage the padding after a while. I mean, they protect your hands when you hit the bag, but I don't think they're designed for that. I think they're designed more for, you know, sparring, and obviously we're a lot softer than heavy bags. So, and then on top of it, I'd also say the Velcro might be an issue after a while, but I highly doubt it. Like I said, you really got to like lift it off like that. Otherwise, it's nice and fastened. So maybe just be cautious of that. But I mean, if you're sparring heavy, you know, you usually tape the wrist so the Velcro doesn't scrape your sparring partners anyway. And then on top of it, so that's why I give it the 7 out of 10 for others, because it's not as versatile for people just wanted one glove for everything. But if you are a professional and you want the best pair of MMA gloves specifically for sparring, for heavy sparring, I think these are probably the best out there. And I would put them up against any other pair of gloves out there. One size fits all, and it's very good. You have nice flexibility in your fingers and your hands. Very good grips if you're primarily, you know, a submission specialist and you like to hit the mat and roll that way, then that's perfect. It's good if you're a wrestler. Your grips are right there and ready to go. Everything about these gloves, for me, speaks. They're great. I give them a 10 out of 10 for a professional MMA fighter looking for the best pair of sparring gloves out there. But without further ado, folks, that is the end of the videos, and that is the end of the MMA pounding gloves by Isami. If you have any questions about these gloves, please comment down below and comment other things that you want to see me review, whether they be MMA gloves. I'll try and get shin guards for you guys as well, a headgear, stuff like that, boxing gloves, name it, I'll do that. I also want to start doing more technical videos, you know, show you some of the stuff that I've learned over the years. I've been training a lot for my upcoming title defense in July. It's Mike Tyson's fight night at the Egg in Albany, so I'm really excited about that. It's Empire Plaza, so if anyone in New York is watching, you want to come support me, it'll be my third heavyweight title defense, and then hopefully after this fight, we'll be looking for a pro debut soon. Mike Tyson will be there, Mickey Ward will be there, so it'll be a super fun day, and I can't wait to do that show. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be great to fight in front of one of my all-time idols. More information down in the comments section in the description below as well. But without further ado, folks, thanks so much for watching. Once again, these are the Isami MMA pounding gloves. I'll put the link in the description where you can get these from Choke Sports. And as always, have a wonderful day. I'll see you on the next episode.